our guest tonight says the attacks have changed the dynamic of Syria's civil war. Fawaz Georges is director of the Middle East Centre at the London School of Economics and a friend to this programme. Why do you believe that what has taken place over the weekend changes the dynamic of the civil war?
It's no longer an internal struggle between the Assad regime and the opposition. It's an open-ended war by proxy. You have Israel, other regional powers and the Western state on the one hand. You have Syria, Hezbollah and Iran on the other hand. They are battling.
Excuse me, hasn't that always been the case?
It's an open-ended conflict now. And I believe as a result of Israel's attacks on Syria, both Hezbollah and Iran would deepen their engagement inside Syria, would go to great lengths to basically prevent the removal of Assad from power, as Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, has made it very clear.
So they stand beside Assad till the end. How do you see it playing out then with the Western powers, the United States and Israel?
Well, the reality is, I mean, President Barack Obama has come under tremendous pressure, as you well know.
And he's coming under pressure tonight.
Right.
A Democrat in New Jersey, I understand, introducing a Syria Stabilization Act of 2013 in response to the chemical weapons news.
Both Republicans and Democratic leaders would like the President of the United States to intervene militarily in Syria, to become directly involved in Syria, to provide arms for the opposition in Syria.
And what would that do?
Barack Obama believes, and I think he is correct, America's military intervention would exacerbate an already complex conflict, would basically turn Syria into a battlefield, regional battlefields. Syria, both Hezbollah and Iran, would basically come to the support of Assad. In fact, I would argue, when the United States invaded Iraq in 2003, both Hezbollah and Iran were implicitly supportive of the American invasion. They wanted to get rid of Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein basically established a Sunni-based regime. In Syria, if the United States intervenes militarily inside Syria, both Iran and Hezbollah, not to mention Iraq, and that's the irony, would battle American forces in Syria's killing field.
So what you say, we're talking about an internal civil war, we're talking about the outside interests of Syria, Iran, Hezbollah on one side, and then we have on the other side the United States, Israel. Where would Turkey stand, or is Turkey a pivot in this? Because from the beginning, many were saying that Turkey held the key to a solution in Syria. Is that gone now? Is that passed?
Yes. Turkey has been the spearhead of the attack against Assad. Turkey would like Assad out. And even though Turkish-Israeli relations are very strained, both implicitly, I mean, they find Turkey and Israel find themselves in the same camp. But the reality is this. Regardless now what happens inside Syria itself, the conflict itself has mutated. It has taken a dangerous turn. And sadly for the Syrian people, they are paying very heavy cost as a result of the intervention of the regional and the great powers. Israel says, I mean, look what Israel says. Israel says the primary targets were not the Assad regime and the military,
Hezbollah,
and Iran itself. Even Israel is battling inside Syria in order to deliver a knock against Iran
and
itself.
Iran on the top of its list of priorities as well. So again, just a quick final question about President Obama, the pressure on him to be drawn unwittingly into something out of which there seems to be no real exit.
Barack Obama has made it very clear. America's military intervention would be counterproductive. And he said, according to America's allies, they have told him so. And that's why Barack Obama has been reluctant to intervene in Syria. My take, given the pressure that Barack Obama is under, you're going to see a shift, a minor shift in American strategy. Barack Obama would most likely provide arms to the opposition in the next few weeks as a result of both the domestic pressure and the regional pressure. Remember, Israel, Turkey and other powers and Saudi Arabia and Qatar are also exerting tremendous pressure on Barack Obama to intervene in the raging struggle inside Syria.